Third up, we have proteins. So proteins are the most diverse macromolecule, okay? And so over here on the right, we have some eggs, we have some cashews, it looks like, some milk, and then some ribs. Yeah, because proteins are meat, okay? So yeah, they're the most diverse and then they're the most abundant macromolecules. So they make up 50% of our cells' biomass. They literally run your body. Okay, proteins, super important. Okay, so some functions of proteins. Warning, there's a lot. So number one, it's one type of protein. Let me just move this down here. One type of protein is called an enzyme, and enzymes control the rate of chemical reactions. So throughout our entire body, there are chemical reactions happening everywhere, every second of every day. And so enzymes are just a type of protein that control that rate, what rate those chemical reactions are occurring at, whether they're occurring faster or slower. Okay, so another type of protein is hormones. So remember how I said for lipids they can all be used as hormones as well, because there are steroid hormones and then there are more protein-based peptide hormones. So these peptide protein hormones regulate cell processes. So if you've ever heard of insulin, so insulin is what diabetics need to be injected when they get low blood sugar. So that insulin is just regulating its cell process, regulating how much glucose is broken down or stored by our cells. Okay, so enzymes and hormones. Proteins are also used to form bones and muscles. So for an example of this is called collagen, and collagen is what your ears are made out of, your ears and your nose. Okay, and then the fourth function is that proteins transport substances in and out of cells. So the example here is hemoglobin, and hemoglobin is a cell, basically think of it as a carrier molecule that floats around in our blood, and it helps to transport oxygen in and out of our cells. So hemoglobin delivers oxygen to all of our cells that need it. Okay, and then fifth, an example of a protein is called an antibody, and antibodies help us fight diseases. Okay, so they will seek out invader foreign bacteria, they'll seek out pathogens, and they will provide a series of functions that will help us fight diseases. Okay, and then sixth, proteins are a food source. Okay, so we ingest proteins and they are a type of food source. We use them to fuel our bodies. So just some more stuff on proteins. Proteins are found in meats and nuts and in Greek yogurt. And again, so examples in our body include hemoglobin and insulin. And so proteins are made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur. So they're made up of some more stuff than, remember, carbohydrates and lipids are made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and now proteins have this nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur in them as well. Okay, so the monomers for proteins are called amino acids. And the polymers, so when we link together amino acids, we are linking together and we call them polypeptides. So there's that prefix again, poly, so that makes it super easy to remember. So yes, and amino acids are linked together by a different type of bond, so not covalent, not ionic. It's called a peptide bond. So we're not going to go too in depth on that, but just kind of wanted to clarify that. Okay, and so for energy storage, for every milligram of protein we ingest, we are able to store 4 calories of it. And because they are the last, because they have so many other uses though, they are the last thing your body will break down if it needs energy. So don't eat a whole bunch of protein and expect your body to break that down first.